Over the last week, I think I lost 3 followers. I guess I just wasn't demonstrative enough. Maybe I didn't scream, yell, knock food over. Maybe people just didn't dig the fact that I was trying to talk to them, get them to make some positive progress in their life, work on some finances, things of that nature. I don't honestly know what the difference is, but I can tell you this right here. So I did this thing, had a little bit of cash, right? And what I did with that cash was I spent $6, $7, whatever the case may be on TikTok promote. Now, if I'm anything like a bunch of y'all, every video I make, and I think I made some pretty decent ones, right? Every video I make, I sit up and I get about 100 views, 125 views or so, and then it would stop. It would bottom out at that, right? I haven't received anything but like 4 comments, and I've been doing this for pretty close to 4 months, right? Me in the gym, me with my food, things of that nature, right? I got like 300 some views when I showed some money spread out on the ground, but no big deal, right? Not a lot of interaction. So maybe that's because I just don't have the right personality for people to want to communicate with. I don't know. But I do know this. When I paid a little bit of money, $6 to TikTok promote bubbled me up and I got a whole bunch of views, like 350, whatever the case may be. And I got like 30 followers, right? And then it's funny because they bottomed out. Boop, they stopped. And then the followers, like 2, 3, disappeared, gone. You know what that remind me of? Going and buying crack and hitting a crack pipe. And you get this second of elation, right? And then you got to come back to the real world. And the real world is this, because this is the lesson of it all. Don't nothing come easy. If I want to be a success at anything in this life, I'm going to have to put work into it. There's nothing in this life that I've ever gotten that was worthwhile that I didn't have to fight for, right? So the only way that this works is this right here. Hey, look, when you're on a diet, I'm going to tell you something. You ever notice how that scale go 3, 4, 5 pounds up, 3, 4, 5 pounds down, and you're like, oh, I made progress, and then the next day you up 5 pounds? Well, science will tell you it's water weight gain. But that don't mean anything when it comes to the psyche. Because to the psyche, it means that you're not making progress, right? But you are. You got to be able to take a look at the real progress. The real progress it's fluctuating at 3, 4. But in actuality, you lost a pound. But you're putting on muscle too. And you eating on an everyday basis, right? We take a look at all of the things that aren't happening immediate for us. And if we're not careful, it'll put us in a position where we don't feel valued and motivated. So what do we end up doing? We end up quitting. So at the end of the day, this is the deal. Stop thinking in terms of what you can make happen this week. So I'll tell you this and then I'll end this story, right? I bought a vision board and I did this vision board like 4 months ago, and I'm putting stuff on there. And granted, I was accomplishing a lot of this stuff. But one of the things I put on there was I said I want to save $10,000 by December. Now I just want you to consider something, right? I hadn't been able to save more than like 2,500, 3,000. And it really wasn't a savings. That was actually me forced into a position where I had to pay for this bankruptcy. So I had to put this money together. It wasn't actually me saving. It was me sacrificing and putting in so that I could get something done to get all this debt up off me, right? So I did that. But I already knew this was something that I wasn't going to be able to accomplish. But I put it on the vision board anyway, without having any idea how I was going to be able to make it happen. I want to save $10,000 by December, right? That's all I want to do. That will show me something. That will give me a thought process that I can make something positive happen in my life, even though I don't know how I'm going to make it happen. Hey, listen, some of y'all are sitting out there right now and you want to do something and you have absolutely no idea how you're going to make it happen. But I just started making moves. And I'm not talking about doing something extraordinary. I didn't open up no business or anything like that. I went to work every day, right? I'm up to $5,000. I have no idea how I got there because nothing's changed. I'm still going to work every week. But I'm up to $5,000. But I'll tell you the difference. You want to know what the difference is? The difference is I stopped worrying about that $10,000 and I just started worrying about the changes that I needed to make on a daily basis in my life, right? And I still spend too much money, too much. And I need to polish up on that. But I'm like, I need to get this out the way, and I need to get this out the way. And I started having to make those decisions. And when I did, when I was able just to focus on what I was trying to accomplish in myself, byproducts. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. You don't have to put all these specific goals in your life, because that opens up the door for you to be disappointed, right? What I did was I said, I'm going to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to work out. While that's happening and I'm working out, my brain is in a different place. I'm thinking about different things. Then I go to work, and when I go to work, I'm already a leg up on the game because I've had 2-3 hours to think about the things that I want to implement and employ that day at my job, right? So I put in a good day's work and I get a lot done. And as I get a lot done, I'm stacking in 2, 3, 4, 5 days worth of work into a day. And that means what? What that means, as I move forward, I'm accelerated in the process. And then I'm taking 30 minutes, an hour out of every day just to take a look at my finances. So now when I make financial decisions, it's not reactionary. I have a chance to forecast and think future state and be proactive about my financial decisions. Listen, you're not going to hear me talk about dollar bills, right? I'm not going to tell you if you take this dollar bill and you put it here, I'm not doing none of that. What I'm talking to you about is, if you give yourself time, and if you do the thing that you need to do, which is stop looking at this phone for these recipes, stop looking at this phone to see how another motherfucker is doing in life, and start looking at this phone, this billion-dollar enterprise that you're holding in your hand, and start doing some research on the things that concern you. And if you're able to do that and just stick with it, you won't have to worry about money. The money will be a byproduct of the direction you're headed in. Listen, you're just going in the wrong direction if you're going through really hard times. You don't need to change every single thing that you do. You just need to change the direction, and the things that you do will automatically adjust. We're looking at it backwards, and the fact that we're looking at it backwards is what causes us problems. So I'm done for today. It's the weekend. I gave you a little bit of heavy lifting. Think about what I said. If it's pertinent to you, cool. If you guys like what you hear, you can follow me. If you don't, that's cool. Keep scrolling. I'm pretty sure there's somebody making a cake that you can't afford to make. You know what I'm saying? That's there for you to spend your time with. Have a good day.